Let's talk a little bit about environmental awareness. Environmental awareness is a term we hear self-defense people throw around all the time, but without actual techniques to be aware of your environment, you probably won't be. So there's a skill that professionals in the field refer to the head swivel, which is just moving your head around and paying attention to what's in your environment. Now, obviously, you can't pay attention to every last thing that's in your environment. There's just too much stimuli to process. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to create about a 20-foot bubble around ourselves. That 20 feet gives us approximately a second and a half of reaction time if somebody were to try and invade that intentionally. Now, 360-degree awareness means that bubble has to extend all the way around you. That means not just in front of you. Well, since we don't come equipped with eyes in the back of our head, how do you watch that stuff? Well, the head swivel is the technique that we use to do that. It sounds fancy and all, but it's really not. Basically, by glancing over your shoulder, you open up the view of what's in your 6 o'clock. Whatever's directly behind you, you'll be able to see with your peripheral vision. It doesn't have to be an extreme thing where you turn around and stare at the people behind you. You can simply glance over your shoulder and be able to see what's there. If you're paying attention and looking around, you don't look much like a victim, so you don't seem like an easy target. It's a good step in the very beginning to avoid being selected as a victim. So if you're walking around, paying attention to your environment, looking around, then you're obviously going to see the things that are coming towards you. Somebody who's looking down, not paying attention, focused on one area only, is going to be a much easier target. I use the example Walmart. You see people get out of their car and they walk into a Walmart. Well, they don't really see what's around them. They see the doors in front of them and they see the cars passing right in front of the entry. But that's about as far as that goes. They don't see the guy standing over to their right talking on a cell phone. They don't see the people walking around behind them, milling around in their car, maybe not putting things away. So it's important for you to pay attention to these kind of things. I used the example of somebody on their cell phone. Well, there's a concept called triangulation, where bad guys will get on their cell phones, especially holiday time, get on their cell phones, stand in a parking lot, and talk to each other as they select their victims. And those 2 or 3 people converge on somebody who isn't paying attention. So if you're using the head swivel technique and you're watching your 6, paying attention to that 360-degree 20-foot bubble, then it's going to be very difficult for somebody to surprise you and attack you without your knowing.